And we're ready for action. Remember, it's 1-5 to 8. Ball is up. Jordan Flynn claims that one easily. And straight away, he's looking for that long ball inside. Trying to win it out in front as a fist is knocked on. It was from Dara Siren, but he couldn't take it cleanly, and there was nobody on the break for Crossmolina. So, Moy Davitts now are looking to come on the attack, as we said. Crossmolina finished the half to stronger, as Moy Davitts now, early ball delivered inside. Taken well by Reed, lays it off nicely, gives it off to McHale. McHale is inside, is going to be turned over. Is there a chance of a goal? Coming back to Heenan. Another extra hand pass. Was there one hand pass too many? Surely that should have been taken earlier. David Byrne, the angle was well cut out by JP Mulhern. The goalkeeper goes out for 45, but the trigger surely should have been pulled 2 passes earlier.
Yeah, I think Brian Heenan was the man who should have. He was square on with the keeper. He went across David Byrne. The angle was getting tighter. Really, I think from that perspective, he should have dummied off his right and maybe slipped it with his left. The angle was too tight, but it was a good save in fairness.
But from a Moy Davitts point of view, it would have been a dream start to the second half for Crossmolina. It looked like they were still asleep in the dressing room. The referee is looking for a Liroji as the one. I think that was the save has gone out under a car over the far side there somewhere. Yeah. So it's going to be a 45 for Moy Davitts. 31 minutes gone, and they have a chance to nip ahead. Should suit the left footer with the breeze coming across. He'd be looking to hit that. So left to right, it's going to drop short. He's pulled it. He's pulled that one quite badly, and that's gone wide.
That's a big psychological boost for Crossmolina, because really and truly they were carved open there, and they should be 3 down. To come away still level, that's a big boost to them.
From a kick-out perspective, it looks like Crossmolina are pulling more players out deeper, and they're going to go long now, coming over to the near side toward Jordan Flynn. Flynn wins that, and he claims that mark nice and cleanly from Oisin McHugh. Delivered early inside, it comes off the defender, trying to get it up into hands. Mohammed Hunter goes down, but the fullback Ty Gruan managed to scoop it away in danger. If they'd secure position there was a one-on-one going through for Crossmolina, but Moy Davitts have lost possession in the middle of the field. Siren gets his head up, plays a high loopy ball towards Conor Loftus, claims it. The referee blew the whistle for the mark, but Loftus has kept going. He's tripped. The referee has blown his whistle now. He's striding purposely and arms are outstretched. It's going to be a penalty for Crossmolina, and that's you see it at one end. There's a chance of a goal at one end. The other team goes straight up the other end of the field, and it's a penalty. Yeah,
it's these big championship games, Tommy. They're deciphered by moments. You know, Moy Davitts had a moment there. They came away with nothing. If Crossmolina put this in the back of the net, it's a huge psychological boost. A lot of that is Conor Loftus' own work. He turned the ball over here from a loose hand pass, won the ball back. Dara Siren played a beautiful ball back toward him. He caught the ball, and once he caught that ball, he'd one thing in his mind, and that was going for goal.
Quinn couldn't do anything about it. He tried to stop him from getting inside him. The referees, we said, had blown the whistle for the mark, but there was only one thing on Conor Loftus' mind, and he was going through for goal. Gets the penalty opportunity now. 33 minutes gone. Penalty. Steps up. Comes off the inside of the left post and goes across. You could hear the ping off the steel post from here. The goalkeeper guessed the right way. McGlynn was very unlucky, and it comes off the inside of the upright, and it's a goal for Crossmolina.
Yeah, I think McGlynn did everything right. I think he waited for the ball to be kicked, and he pretty much decided, Conor, you're going to have to be very, very accurate with this, and in fairness, he couldn't be more accurate.
Conor Loftus puts Crossmolina into the lead, 1-5 to 1-8, broken nicely by McHugh from the resulting kick out. This time the ball is delivered much earlier towards McHale. McHale can't get the ball in the contact. No, the referee says there was a nudge in the back by Lorcan Loftus, so it's going to be a free for Moy Davitts, who can reply almost instantaneously.
Yeah, in some ways that wasn't a bad free to give away, because I thought Crossmolina were slow reacting to fill the middle channel as Lorcan Loftus went out wide. There could have been more on there.
That's again another wide. You'd have to say that they've had the opportunities. There was the 45s, they've missed frees. They're up to 7 wides, and it's there has to be a change of free taker, because the last 2 frees have not gone well.
Yeah, look, like championship football is about taking your chances. It's as simple as that.
There's a player down for Moy Davitts in the middle of the field.
Faker Cruz, is it?
It's we didn't see what happened. We were following the play. Now Brian Heenan is after hitting late and low. The referee Declan Corcoran is coming over. John Glavey is in communication with Declan Corcoran. Cruz is holding his lip. There seems to be a bit of blood there. We were watching the kick out. Didn't see. He seemed to be on the ground all of a sudden.
On the kick out, yeah.
Yeah. So he's been allowed to have a look. The referee and the linesman are having a chat. Stephen Duffy getting a bit of attention as well. So everybody's up and well and okay. So the game can resume. It'll be a free for Crossmolina. Jordan Flynn has ball in hand, looking for options, and Duffy, who's been marauding forward all game, trying to drive Brian Heenan back into his own defence, coming out around now to support his Mahidi. Siren sidesteps, has a player ahead of him. Goggins is narrow. They were holding the width very well. That's a low lead. That was a wrong decision and a free out then. What Crossmolina did very well in the first half was, rather than go direct, they went wide and tried to move that ball around the Moy Davitts defence. But in that situation there, Moy Davitts sent him where they wanted him to go. Yeah,
and Dara Siren was too slow making his mind up. I think when he saw the defender pulling off him, he had to go it alone rather than trying to loop a hand pass over the top to a man that was marked.
Moy Davitts have seemed to be going very straight and direct. They seem to be going from centre back to centre forward, not really spreading the play at the moment as the ball is in the hands of Quinn. Bit of a late challenge there again, but he managed to get away from it, and there's a nudge in the back by Stephen Duffy on Brian Heenan. Is going to be a free 40 metres out, but it's again a laborious build-up.
Yeah, and to be honest, I thought there was absolutely no need for Moy Davitts to or for Crossmolina to foul there. He's taking it fast into the danger man.
Brian Reap has one look at the post. He swings that right boot at it, and it's gone to the left wide. And wide. As much as the crowd are cheering, it's wide. Now, the referee is going in. From our angle here, it looked like it was wide.
I think it was wide. I think it never came in at all. It just stayed straight. I think
the referee has
could be given though
to the linesman to give it.
Well, wide.
Yeah,
it's the right decision.
It is the right decision.
Yeah, Conor Reid is coming in.
Conor Reid, who, as you mentioned, is an effective weapon. He can win ball. He can win. He can take a score. Interesting to see who he's going to actually come off for.
Anthony Jordan,
he's switching him into corner forward. They're actually bringing off David Byrne. And to be fair to David Byrne, it's not been his day today.
No, he hasn't really been in the game as such, but I suppose in terms of the full forward line, the two boys, Heenan and Reap, will be the target for most balls played in, so it can be a lonely enough furrow. But he tried his best, tried hard, and it's a team game at the end of the day.
1-5-1-8, Crossmolina with that penalty by Conor Lockett. Really well, take it straight away. Conor Reid having an influence, stealing that mark off Jordan Flynn, as Moy Davitts looking to break forward again. But decision making, it's been a noticeable aspect of it, is that they've made the wrong decisions at the wrong times when they're trying to improve that here now with trying to create an opportunity. Going left shoulder was dropped. The referee says play on. Carl Clark is the one that hit the ground. The referee said it was a foul. It looked like he turned into him a little bit, but it's going to be a free. The referee says that Heenan's going to come over. Crossmolina player is down. The referee says it's going to be a free, and you've seen them giving, you've seen them not giving.
Yeah, I just think from a defensive perspective, Crossmolina are panicking a small bit there when they're being ran at. I think that's 2 fouls in a row from Stephen Duffy. He's lucky now not to get a yellow card there. And both of them had a degree of, panic. There wasn't an awful lot on. Like he just needed to stand his man up and know that there was help behind him.
He's
no.
Made it. Bad option there. It's gone to the right. And
that's wide.
It's gone. It looked like it was wide,
yeah,
but it's been given as a point. So that's the opening score of the second half for Moy Davitts. From our angle, it looked like it had gone wide, but the umpires, the ones who called it, they say it's a score. It's gone over the bar, so 1-6, 1-8. 39 minutes gone. The Mayo Egan Jewelers Intermediate Football Championship Round 2 clash, and there's a player down on the far side. The referee is going to let him get attention. The linesman, I think, brought his attention to the injury. But it's been more noticeable in this half that the press that Moy Davitts have now put on is that they're not dragging as many players into that kick-out area. They're trying to hold the middle, break that ball, and then counter.
Yeah. They seem to be they seem to have a little bit more energy about them in the second half, definitely. And they've really and truly, that foul there and that injury is kind of a blessing for Crossmolina, because I think since they've got the goal, they've faded out of the game somewhat. And I think Moy Davitts have had all the momentum in the last 5 or 6 minutes, so I think Crossmolina need to slow it down now, go through a few phases of play, get their main men on the ball and try and work a score.
It's noticeable there now that Jordan Flynn has gone into full forward, just starting deep, and McHugh has followed him as another marauding drive forward by Stephen Duffy. He's done for overcarrying now. There's a counter attack on if they want it, but he was late releasing the ball, so that's going to be brought up 10 yards. So it looked like the tactic is that if Crossmolina get the ball in their own half back line, Jordan Flynn is going into full forward to make a run out from deep. But it's Moy Davitts who are on the attack at this stage, and Heenan, who's got that score a moment ago, is trying to go one way then the other, tries to take a dummy solo. Is he being done for overcarrying? No, he's being done for a foul. So it's going to be a free for Moy Davitts, and as you said, that Crossmolina defence is panicking a small bit.
They are panicking a small bit, and I think Stephen Duffy is probably the linchpin of that defence. Needs to kind of take the emotion out of the game a small bit. Like, he's had 2 fouls there, and he tried to burrow his way through a hole that wasn't there. I think they need to play what's in front of them here now and stem some of Moy Davitts' momentum. He took a ball into contact there where he should have just planted his feet and recycled the ball and kept Moy Davitts moving. That's going to drop.
Substitution on the Crossmolina side, and that's gone short. Well taken by the goalkeeper. He's trying to drive out Mulhern. He's been fouled. There's going to be a substitution on the Crossmolina team, number 24, and that is Diarmuid Fox. He's coming in for Lurkin Loftus. So that's almost a like-for-like switch there. 41 and a half minutes gone as Crossmolina decide to make a change of their own.
Yeah, well, I suppose a hot day, and in fairness, the pace of the game has been quite high, so I just to get fresh legs in and keep that running effort and running power in the middle third to bring it home from here.
Crossmolina go short. They're trying to engineer an exit of their own 45, and it's the keeper who's driving them forward. Conor Loftus now in possession. They're still only as far as their own 45. He puts his hand up almost in frustration as to the lack of options. His little give and go, gets it at the second attempt. White shirts abound, and it's Goggins who's narrow. It's been noticeable in this half where they were playing with much more width. They've gone very direct, and Loftus has kept his run going. He's managed to get the ball up at the second attempt. The ball then just comes out of the tackle. There's a turn and a challenge, and that's been a free given away, and that's almost as good as the score from Moy Davitts as this stage, as they're trying to release McHale. Strong challenge there as he turns and gets away from the ball. He's tackled from behind and he's brought down, and the referee said that's going to be a free. The 2 number 11 / Fionn Doherty fouling Cian McHale. As Oisin McHugh tried to take it quickly, the referee said no, he has a little bit of administration to do. He's going to book Fionn Duffy, I think, for a foul. Should be no more than a yellow, even though both players did hit the ground, and it is indeed a yellow card. The 3rd of the game and the 2nd for Crossmolina. Yeah,
Moy Davitts are in the ascendancy at the moment now, so they just need to retain their composure, keep hold of the ball, do nothing daft, get it to the scorers, get it into Reap, get it to Heenan, and get it to Cian McHale.
Conor Reid goes one way, then the other. That tall frame evading the challenges, gives it to Reap, as the aforementioned Reap by Cormac, and he's had a snapshot. That's gone to the right and wide, and they're up to 9 wides now, and that'll be a worry that they're not converting the opportunities that they have.
It's a big worry, Tommy. Like they've had the best of the last 10 minutes, and they really have only 1 point to show for it. But in saying that, Reid broke the line, and he got it to the man that you'd want to get it on. It was good play, it was just the execution.
Long kick out goes towards Conor Loftus. Reid takes that one over the head of Loftus, as he did on Jordan Flynn a few minutes ago. Trying to again get that ball delivered earlier in. McHale inside, they're going to try a chance. Heenan, can he get his 2nd goal of the game? There's a player at the back post, and that's into the net. Brian Reap, as they combined for the first goal, they combined for the 2nd.
Yeah, and it's all about Conor Reid here. Conor Reid has made an appreciable difference since he's come in here. He's won the last 2 Crossmolina kickouts. I see Jordan Flynn went the far side for the last kickout, and they were bringing him this side and putting the ball out in his head, and he was winning them. But Reid's presence on the field has switched that dynamic, so he's made a huge influence already. So
from being 2 points down, Moy Davitts are now 1 point up, and as we said, Crossmolina have been very tentative in this opening 3rd quarter, as 2 players are tackled on there's a player tripped up inside, the referee has seen it. 2 players tangled on the large D. Now it depends on which way Declan Corcoran interprets this, because Tyg Ruan seemed to trip the full forward, James Mahidi of Crossmolina. So I think Declan Corcoran is maybe going to go and have a word with his umpires just to see what actually happened.
I think he could be in a
it's
small bit of trouble.
Yeah, I'd be thinking the same now. The word, again, there's been a little bit off the ball, but it's only handbag stuff really. There's nothing, but the foot trip, if you, by the letter of the law, if you trip a player and he goes to ground from being on the ground, it's a black card.
Yeah, and the difference there with Fionn Duffy a minute ago, Fionn Duffy fell on top of the player. He didn't wrap his arms around him. So in that instance, he got his hand around his leg and pulled the leg from under him. So it's a trip rather than a fall. So
from being the high of scoring the second goal, the referee has called over Tadhg Ruan. He's having a word. We're just going to wait and see now what the referee, Declan Corcoran's decision is. It's a yellow.
He's lucky.
He's very lucky there. But it's going to result in a free for Crossmolina. It's 25 metres out, directly in front of the posts. Fionn Duffy, who's has 3 frees so far in this game. He's going to tag on another one to his name. That's over the bar, 1-9 to 2-6. And Fionn Duffy has been scorer-in-chief for Crossmolina, and that will also be a worry for this Crossmolina management team, is that they're not getting enough out of the other forwards. Yeah, well, over the last 4 seasons, he's got 43% of their scores in championships, so what you're saying is very, very true. They lean on him very, very heavily, and the other scorers-in-chief are Loftus and Flynn from the middle of the field, so it's not ideal to be dependent on guys who starting position is 80 metres from goal. Kick out one by Crossmolina, and they're just going back across the field here, which is something they weren't really doing in the first half. They went very direct with their running. They have Mahidi's making a run. They have to stop and go back around. Jordan Flynn now faced up by 4 Moy Davitts players. His white shirts coming towards him. He's going as tight to the corner as you can possibly go. He's going to try and switch that across. It's going to drop under the nose of the keeper. Comes off the crossbar. Darius Siren followed the ball in at a height. He got his hands to the ball, but it's been turned over again. The ball half blocked down. The goalkeeper comes out and claims it. Shot from it looked like it was Jimmy Coggins had the first attempt.
He did, yep.
Great save by the goalkeeper, by Chris McGlynn. But out of nowhere, Darius Siren appeared in the small square, and the ball smashed off the crossbar. And 2 goal chances certain, as they had in the first half. Not converted. No. And like again, as I was saying earlier, it's about moments. You have to come away with something, and that's a big, big lift for Moy Davitts. And they have a bit of momentum transitioning down the field now, and they have an overlap. They have, and there's a player free here in the middle of the, and it's going to come through to Mulroy. Mulroy's going to spray it off to Brian Reap. Brian Reap, he's evades one challenge. Great block down, but it's into the hands of Heenan. He's going to keep this attack going. He's going to have a go off his left. And Brian Heenan, he puts that one to the wide as well. So that's double figure wides for Moy Davitts. But that Moy Davitts' goal, both ends, is leading a charmed life. Very much so. Like Crossmolina definitely should have come away with something there. I think that's something that they're trying to do. I saw Darius Iron go inside at the start of the second half as well. They're trying to isolate a big man and put a crossfield ball inside, and in fairness, it nearly paid off. We mentioned earlier that Jordan Flynn had rotated in and out, so it looks like it's a definite
it's something they're
weapon that they're
definitely
just rotating. Now there was a check off the ball here. The referee is in contact with his linesman. He's calling over. I think he's having a Faker Cruz. There was a challenge off the ball. If it depends on interpretation. Was it a third man challenge? What ways has it been interpreted? So
I'll get one of these right at some point, Tommy. I'd say this could be a black.
And it is. It is, and that's not what Moy Davitts wanted at this
stage.
No,
definitely not.
Coming into the final quarter, we're 48 minutes in, 12 minutes to go plus whatever the referee is going to allow, and for the next 10. It's going to be Moy Davitts who are going to have to put in some defensive work here.
They are, and they're going to have to drop a man out from the full forward line as well, which is going to blunt their attacking prowess. So, level game, 2-6-1-9. It's intriguing stuff here in Foxford Live, Fuel Mayo, GATV, the Egan Jewelers Intermediate Championship. Don't forget, as we said, we have another game coming your way later on today, live from Charlestown. Charlestown, Sarsfields and Claremore says Coggins is trying to engineer something here for Crossmolina. Going to have a shot, but that's going to flash across the 21 inside. Here is Malidi, but that's a great. You can't call a mark. You can't call a mark on your full back line? No, it had to be outside the 45. The ball has to be kicked from outside the 45. It didn't. It looked as though it was inside the 20-metre line. It shouldn't have been a mark. It should have been a mark. But there's a pull on the jersey there. The Moy Davitts crowd are not happy that Darius Ireland had a bit of a pull on the jersey. Brian Reap's trying to stop that from going out over the sideline. It's gone
wide is the referee's call, but a couple of decisions there that are keeping the crowd unhappy.
Yeah, and he repaid it there because I think Conor Reid that ball should have been brought back for a free. Because of the foul, Conor Reid played a nothing ball really inside to Brian Reap, and he couldn't get to the pitch of it, and it hopped wide.
So Moy Davitts are going to bring in Dara Ruan, who was down to start at this game. He wasn't deemed fully fit, but with the black card they're going to need that extra help around the middle of the field. Really good steal there by Cian McHale. On the far side, low ball up to Heenan. He's waiting for runners to join him and help him out. He's going to attack the sideline, cuts inside his man. Well, there's a pull there, and that's a good free one by Brian Heenan. All the experience in the world just to draw that foul.
Yeah, absolutely. He's had a big second half. Reap was very much the main man in the first half. In fairness, Reap has been decent throughout, but I think Heenan has really come to the fore in the second half. He's a goal and an assist.
Looks like there's going to be a dual substitution here. It looks like that Moy Davitts are looking to bring in Ronan Clark as well. Or they've changed their minds. They're going to go with Ronan Clark instead of Dara Ruan maybe. But there's going to be a free for Moy Davitts. They're just doing the administrative work on this side. Crossmolina also are going to make a change. Crossmolina are bringing in number 19, and that is Killian Fergus. The substitution from Moy Davitts is they're going to have Anthony Jordan has looked a bit leggy in the last few minutes, and they are bringing in the Ronan Clark. We'll just wait to see who's coming off for Crossmolina. I didn't see a player.
No, I didn't see anybody come off either.
Has it gone off the far side maybe?
It's somebody in the forward line anyway.
I think so. They are actually going to bring in Dara Ruan as well. They're bringing off Oisin Quinn, so they're going to plug him at centre back. But we're just looking to see from Crossmolina who's come off. Number 2, so it was the cornerback. It was Fergal. Barry Murphy, 17. Okay, so he's gone off the far side behind the goal. That's been tipped over the bar. Cian McHale has got that free as well. So there was a bit of confusion. There was 3 or 4 substitutions there at the moment. The board numbers were flashing, and we were trying to do a manual count to make sure there wasn't a numerical an advantage anywhere. But as we know, the black card for Moy Davitts has seen them having to play with 14 players. Crossmolina are trying to eat into their lead. 2-7 plays 1-9, 52 minutes gone. The next 6 minutes they're going to play with the 14 players. When the game gets to its closing moments, they'll be back to the full complement, but Crossmolina are trying to force an opportunity here. Dara Siren is calling for the ball. Jordan Flynn went to have a dummy solo. He was always intending to shoot that ball. He had nothing else in his mind that he was going to put it for through. He had Dara Simon free 10-15 yards away, but I think the frustrations of what's happened with Crossmolina is that conceding that goal, then conceding a couple of frees, not converting their goal opportunities, maybe that frustration is getting to the players. Yeah,
and Jordan Flynn has gone out of the game in the last 10 minutes, and I think he was trying to force something there, rather than just using his head. These Goggins lads have played very well. That's number 10 now is away.
He's inside, he's going to have a goal, he's getting around, the keeper comes out to try and stop, and he pops it off. Is it palmed into the goal? Goal for Crossmolina. We said that the goal led a charmed life, but it was the old stager David Howley who had a chance in the first half to get a goal. He converts that one, but again, as we said, the 2 Coghlan brothers have played very well, but this half they played very narrow, but that time it was the direct run that caused trouble.
Very much so, but they've carried an awful lot of ball, and every time they've got on the ball, Tommy, they've asked questions. It hasn't been passive. They're going at people, they're drawing, sucking defenders, and they're making defenders make decisions. A bad decision was made. Niall Goggins got inside, he kept his head, fed the runner across the way, and got a flick to the net.
So Crossmolina making another change as well. It's going to be number 20, Jack Nocton. He enters the fray. Is it the goal scorer David Howley's coming off?
Yeah, it's all about legs at this point.
Yeah, with only 6 minutes to go, plus whatever the referee's going to add on, and Moy Davitts, they'll be worked that little bit harder playing that player down. Crossmolina have taken advantage as much as they can. 2-9, 2-7, 2-point lead going into the last 5 minutes. It's a big lead at this stage.
and they can afford to be aggressive because they can have the permanent +1 with the extra body at the moment as well. So they should be trying to pin Moy Davitts in for the next 2 to 3 minutes.
So the free was given. There was a foul 30 metres out. The referee, if foul wasn't allowed to be taken quickly, Crossmolina should have just let that free be taken. And the game is continuing, but the referee had already blown his whistle because he wanted to have a word with Kevin Mulhern, because Mulhern had prevented the free from being taken quickly. He was trying to be clever about it. And again, it just slows down that ball. It breaks the momentum.
It suits Crossmolina. Obviously they have the 2-point lead, but Moy Davitts need this game to be played fast now and a bit loosely. Crossmolina need to exert some control here now and make sure that they keep the Moy Davitts attackers outside them at all times. Don't let them inside and make them shoot from difficult spots.
They're trying to force them out down the channels, out wide, as Moy Davitts, Brian Reap rise the challenge, has a player breaking the run. It's going to Reap had gone back for the return, really well covered by Jordan Flynn, gets over the top of Reap, but it's broken kindly for Moy Davitts. Moy Davitts now going to have a shot at goal. Heenan off his right boot, he's popped that one over the bar. Brian Heenan, he goes out of the game. He drifts in and out of games, but he's alive when that ball comes in around 20 metres out.
Yeah, he reads the game very well. He was very cute there. Like, a lot of people got sucked to the ball and sucked to the middle. He stayed on the periphery, waited for somebody to get their hands free, and he took the right decision. He might have been tempted to put the gas down and try and work something, but there's still time. 1-4
of the 2-8 has come from his boot. As we said, there is a reliance on the scores on both sides. Cian Michaela, who was having a massive game in the first round of this championship, hasn't really been on it. When needed, Heenan has stepped up. Fionn Duffy back out to Conor Loftus. Been a bit quiet since the penalty score. Coggins. Now Crossmolina are trying to make that pitch wide, and the substitute is there. It's going to be Killian Fergus. Fergus, 13 metres out. He's trying to recycle the ball. Challenged by 2. He's done for overcarrying. Really good, strong defensive work, but it was noticeable. Nobody was coming at pace to get the ball off him.
No, and oftentimes at this stages in games, teams get conservative and they don't want to commit too many people to the ball. But I think he should have dropped the shoulder and headed for the crossbar and made the defender come across him, and at worst, punched the ball over the bar. He broke his own momentum by standing up, and he got bottled in.
Brian Reap is in his own full back line. He looks like he's spent, as Dara Ruan is driving forward for Moy Davitts. The black card will be over shortly. They'll be back to their full complement as Oisin McHugh, who's had a quiet by his standards second half, he's had a tough battle there with Jordan Flynn. Challenge there by Fionn Duffy, draws the foul. They're going to reverse the change here. It looks like they're going to be back. The substitute, Stephen Clark, is actually coming on. They want to make a substitution, so it's
21-26.
Yeah, so that's going to be Brian Reap. As we said, he looked like he's put in a massive shift for his team. He's contributed massively to this Moy Davitts team. They only find themselves 1 point down. We have coming up to 58 minutes gone, and the black card should be over shortly as well. And Cruz should be back in shortly, as Moy Davitts are on the attack. Crossmolina, they just have to be sensible, try not to draw any fouls, and he's allowed to continue going. He's going across his own 45. There's a player free if they want to switch it, but there's another foul drawn in, and Crossmolina noticeably in this half have been diving into the tackle very quickly. Yeah,
and very, very panicky. Like Fionn Duffy was very lucky there a second ago. Like he just had a pull, really. You know, like Crossmolina are they're too jumpy. They're not trusting themselves.
There's a lot of hype put that one by Cian Michaela's going to drop just over the bar. That brings the sides level, and they're about to be level numerically as well. So their linesman John Glavey has told Declan Corcoran the black card is over, and Moy Davitts are back to their full complement. 2-9 plays 2-9. It couldn't be any closer as we get to the closing stages. All it's about now is the amount of time the referee is going to add. There's been lots of substitutions and incidents and bookings, so I wouldn't be surprised if it was at least 4 or 5 minutes of additional time.
I think so.
Crossmolina.
It's important for Crossmolina, I think, for Conor Loftus to drop into the pocket here now and get himself on the ball. They need somebody who can take the ball out here.
They need primary possession. They need to carry the ball. 5 minutes is the call. Put up, and that's a loose ball played inside. It was to nobody in particular, but was it touched on the ground? Yes, said the referee. The referee saw it. He said it was touched on the ground, and that was just a lapse in concentration. You can understand it. Players are tired. They're getting... There's a lot of energy expelled in this game so far.
Yeah, and it was a loose hand pass, and to be honest, he had time to adjust his feet. He just got to the pitch of the ball. The ball probably didn't hop as much as he wanted it to hop, and he did touch it on the ground. It's a soft one, it's a hard one, and Fionnan isn't going to miss from there.
And Fionnan Duffy puts Crossmolina back into the lead. That's only their 4th score of this half. The referee is putting that in his notebook. 2-9, 2-10. The 60 minutes is played. We're into the 5 minutes of additional time now. Moy Davitts go long. Nudge on Conor Reid. Yes, it foul, says the referee. It's going to be a free. McHugh runs over to the sideline, retrieves the ball. Who's going to... A draw really suits neither team, really, does it, Cormac?
It'll come down to score difference at that point, and Moy Davitts have a very good score difference from the Castlebar game, so the emphasis will be on Crossmolina going into that Castlebar game if it stays the same.
Castlebar B play Kilmaine. This is the other fixture in this group, and scoring difference could be huge. Oisin McHugh now faced up, tries to break the line, looking for that little pass inside to Heenan. They're trying to show him out. Duffy's trying to show him one way, then the other, loses it in the contact. Crossmolina have pulled everybody inside their own half. There isn't a Crossmolina shirt to be seen in the opposite half of the field. Long high ball taken. Dara Ruan trying to break the line. Colin McHale recycles it across. McHale to Keane. Cuts inside as he look at the post. No thought about it. Heenan now. He has it. He's 30 metres. He's 20 metres. He has a player free to his right. This is going to be another chance of a goal. It's Fisher to the far post. It's a goal. It looked like it's the full back. It's Tyg Ruan and posted up. And that's given as a goal. It looked like he was right on the edge of the square as that ball went to the back post. Tyg Ruan with his hands popped it up. Brian Heenan is trying to prevent the kick out from being taken, and it's going to be JP Mulhern isn't happy with being impeded. It's going to be probably a booking for Brian Heenan, but out of nowhere, nobody saw Tyg Ruan ghost up into that full forward position, and the big hands pawed at that ball. 3-9 to 2-10.
Yeah, it's been a brilliant game now. It's been a fantastic game. Again, it came off Brian Heenan. He's had a massive influence in this second half. His decision making high up the field it's top level. He sucks defenders in. He lays off the ball at the right time. He's just a top quality decision maker.
Keane McHale spins off the ground after a hit. The referee Declan Corcoran says get up as Conor Loftus is trying to drive his team forward. Over is Mikey Loftus available. Loftus is challenged by Dara Ruan. It's going to be a free on the 45. Has a little pull at him. So this one will go in around the house. You'd have to think we're almost at the halfway stage of the additional time. It's going to be here in Bohola Moy Davitts. 3-9. Crossmolina 2-10.
I think they should be putting Flynn on the edge of the square and dropping it on top of him, to be honest.
Siren, I think, has gone in there at the moment, so they have to do something. They have to create an opportunity.
They have to ask a question.
Overload. Goggins is going to have a ball. He's going to evade one challenge. Has he going to create a goal like he did a moment ago? Saved by the goalkeeper, low to his right. Reaction saved by Chris McGlynn. Goggins just evaded. He's very quick on his feet. His sidestep is super.
Yeah, he'd remind you of Kevin McLaughlin in tight spaces. His ability almost to move sideways when he has the ball in his hand. I've been very impressed with the two of them today. They're very elusive. They're very good ball carriers. Great save from Chris McGlynn.
Low down to his right. Could that be the game saver? It's going to be a 45. They've got the twin towers in or around the edge of the square. There are Sirens up there. Jordan Flynn is up there. It's going towards that area. Is somebody going to get a hand to it? They do. It's flicked on, but it's saved plucked from under the crossbar, and Moy Davitts can launch a counter-attack. Moy Davitts themselves had pulled everybody back. They've drawn a foul.
It's a free in. Third man tackle.
Third man tackle now. Again, the third man tackle a moment ago. There's a bit of altercation going on between the sub benches, and I think they were trying to retrieve a football, and it's all just pushing and shoving. The clock is being eaten up here. We're approaching the 34th minute of additional time. It's going to be a free for Crossmolina. 3-9 plays 2-10. The linesman the referee is being called over. Is it Colin McHale?
I think so.
As you said, it was a third man challenge.
Yeah.
So that's a black card for him. So there's only, again, the referee can add on more time to the additional time due to the work he has to do, but Crossmolina have got on with it. Conor Loftus trying to go one way, then the other, almost loses the ball, lays it off. There's a shot, and that's gone over the bar. Yeah, the
over
white
bar,
flag
yeah,
is raised. So 2-11 to 3-9. So that's it's back to a 1 game, and we're coming down to the final minute.
Yeah, you were right about the 5 minutes, but I wonder, did Mahidi know something when he put the ball across the square, that this might have been the last play? If it's not, they need to win this ball.
It's gone out towards Reid. Reid doesn't get it, and that's well taken by Jordan Flynn. Jordan Flynn called the mark, but he carried on playing. The referee interpreted that he carried on playing, so he didn't actually stop to claim the mark, even though the referee blew the whistle for the mark. So it's going to be a free for Bohona Moy Davitts, and could that be the last chance gone in this game?
Well, look, you'd imagine Moy Davitts will see it out from here. That's a big moment. That's a huge moment in the game. Like, Flynn had caught the ball. He didn't call the mark. He did try and drive the ball in. It's 6 of one, half a dozen of another, you know.
And that's the thing that sometimes confuses players. The referee will blow the whistle for the mark, even though the mark isn't clean.
Yeah. And your intuition as a player is, once you hear the whistle,
you stop.
You know.
So the referee is trying to explain to Jordan Flynn what happened. It's going to be a free, and it's taken by McHale, and he goes back.
They need this ball back, Crossmolina.
Strong challenge there. McHugh hits the ground. They maintain possession of the ball. The referee's blown his whistle. I think it's going to be a free for Moy Davitts on the far side. He's calling somebody to him. Yellow card for, was that for Fionn Duffy?
I think it could have been.
So Moy Davitts have seen this one out. A narrowest of margins victory. 36 minutes on the clock, an additional minute to the injury time.